My mother-in-law made a lot of dumplings and froze them in the refrigerator. As soon as she left, I dumped the dumplings into the trash can. Unexpectedly, she came in again and caught me red-handed. She took a video and posted it in the family group, crying, "I made dumplings for my daughter-in-law, but she threw all the dumplings into the trash can. Why does she hate me so much?" After a while, the whole family came to my house to teach me a lesson. I cooked all the dumplings and served a bowl to each person. As they ate, their faces changed. When I saw my mother-in-law post the video to the group, I knew that I was in trouble today. I couldn't help but regret that I was too impulsive. I should have waited until the evening, when the moon was dark and the wind was high, and then took it out and threw it directly into the public trash can. No one would find it then. After posting the video to complain, my mother-in-law picked up the dumplings and carried them into the kitchen. I honestly took out the refrigerator box and watched her put the dumplings back in the box. Fortunately, most of them were not bad, only a dozen of them were broken and the filling leaked out. She kneaded the dough again, rolled out the dough, scooped out the filling and wrapped it. I waited for her to finish, and then put it in the freezer. She was in tears all the time. I didn't say anything either. We completed this task tacitly. This time, there was a knock on the door in the living room. My mother-in-law went to open the door. A moment later, her crying sounded. My heart tightened, and I heard the voice of my husband's eldest brother. "Mom, don't cry, where is Luo Xn?" My mother-in-law cried and felt very wronged. I know Luo Xn doesn't like to eat fatty meat, so I bought lean meat specially. I got up at 4 in the morning and worked hard. I rolled the dough by hand, chopped the filling by hand, and wrapped them one by one. After working for several hours, my hands were frozen and I didn't have time to eat breakfast before I finished wrapping the dumplings. But she didn't eat any of them and threw them all away. What did I do wrong? Why does she hate me so much? Even if I offended her. Xiaozi didn't offend her. Why did she dump it into the trash can? The eldest brother's voice was full of heartache. "Don't be sad, Mom, where is Luo Xan? I'll go criticize her." Before the mother-in-law answered, the sister-in-law's voice rang again. "Luo Xan, come out." The eldest brother immediately yelled at her. "How can you call your second sister-in-law by her name, Ba?" The sister-in-law scolded. "Does she deserve the title of sister-in-law? My mother has never been bullied like this in her life. She really doesn't take us seriously, Luo Xan. Come out." Her footsteps came to the kitchen. The brother-in-law pulled her. "Don't be excited, wife, we are here to solve the problem, not to quarrel." The eldest sister-in-law also said, "Luo Xan is busy in the kitchen, don't disturb her, wait until she comes out." The sister-in-law raised her voice. "What is she busy with? My mother serves her every day and does all the housework for her. What is she busy with? Luo Xan, come out and apologize to my mother," the eldest brother yelled. "You say less," the sister-in-law retorted. "Why can't I say anything? She bullied my mother. Should I still worship her as an ancestor? No matter how wrong she is still your second sister-in-law. If there is anything, wait for your second brother to come back and deal with it." The sister-in-law sneered. "Big brother, do you still expect the second brother to protect the old mother? He is just a henpecked husband. If he really respects his mother, how could he tolerate Luo Xan riding on his mother's head and acting arrogantly?" "That's it," the eldest brother said. "You all sit down, I'll call Luo Xan out." The eldest brother came in and called me. "Luo Xan, come out and explain why you dumped the dumplings into the trash can. It's a blessing, not a disaster, and it's a disaster that can't be avoided. Since I've been caught, I can only face it." I walked into the living room with my head held high. My sister-in-law pointed at me and started to scold me. "Luo Xan, tell me yourself, how did my mother let you down? You were spoiled in your mother's house and you can't even cook. My second brother has a special job and is not often at home. My mother loves you. Since you got married, she has lived in your house to take care of you. She prepares 3 meals a day and serves them to you. She helps you sweep and mop the floor. She washes your clothes and pants. She even washes your underwear. She is just short of offering you on the ancestral tablet. Isn't she good enough to you? What right do you have to humiliate my mother like this?" My sister-in-law's belly is very big. She is pregnant and the fetus is already 5 months old. She is going to be a mother, but she is still so angry. My eldest brother took over. "Luo Xan, Mom knows that you like to eat dumplings. So I made them for you. You like to eat leek stuffing. Mom cleans the leeks one by one and washes them repeatedly. You don't eat stuffing made with streaky pork. Mom bought leg meat for you. Mom said that stuffing made with a meat grinder is not fragrant, so she chopped it by hand. She has been making dumplings for her whole life, and everyone who has eaten her stuffing says it is very fragrant. Did you also say it was delicious when you first came to our house? I admit this. At that time, I thought the dumplings made by my mother-in-law were so delicious. Even better than those sold in street snack shops. My eldest brother continued. Mom said that hand-rolled dough is chewy and delicious. She always bought flour and kneaded it herself, and rolled out the dumpling skins one by hand, then wrapped them one by one. Where else can you eat such pure handmade dumplings except those made by my mother? On the contrary, the stuffing and dough sold on the street now are not handmade. My mother-in-law also cried. I am afraid that you will not get used to marrying into our family. And I will wrong you. So I have been with you and take care of you like my own daughter. You don't like to eat breakfast. I was afraid that you would get sick from hunger, so I made so many dumplings and put them in the refrigerator. So you can just cook a bowl of dumplings every morning. But you took my kindness for granted. What did I do wrong to make you so angry? Tell me, I will change. Woo 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 woo. See. The so-called explanation is to listen to their criticism of me. They only talked about how good my mother-in-law was to me and accused me of being unfilial to her, but no one asked why I did this. That I was about to explain, but my sister-in-law interrupted me again. Luo Xian, do you have a conscience? My mother is so good to you and treats you wholeheartedly. How do you repay her? From the time you met my second brother to now, have you bought a piece of clothing for my mother? 2 months after marriage. My mother paid for your food and took care of you. We sons and daughters don't need my mother's money. My second brother is not at home, and her pension is all spent on you alone. Not only are you ungrateful, you are also wasting the fruits of her labor. You are simply an ungrateful person. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Your mother is good to me. Did she tell you that? My eldest brother immediately pointed at my eldest sister-in-law and brother-in-law. I don't need my mother to tell you, just ask your sister-in-law and brother-in-law. Does my mother treat them the same as me and my younger sister? My eldest sister-in-law nodded. Mom is very good. My brother-in-law also admitted. Yes, Mom treats us the same. My younger sister-in-law raised her voice. Did you hear that? My eldest sister-in-law and my husband don't have the surname Luo, and they are not born by my mother. My mother treats them as her own children. Could it be that she only treats you differently? You are still a new daughter-in-law. My mother will only please you. How dare she make you angry, not to mention my mother. No mother-in-law in any family dares to show displeasure to a new daughter-in-law who has just been in the house for 2 months. If my mother really looks at you differently, it must be because you treat her badly and she is so angry that she can't bear it anymore. I laughed. You have said all the good and bad things, sister-in-law. Am I wrong? Let's not talk about anything else. Today, you threw the dumplings my mother made into the trash can, and my mother didn't dare to get angry with you, and could only cry to us. This is enough to show that you often bully her. It's also because my second brother is not at home, otherwise he will definitely slap you a few times. The anger of the sister-in-law is beyond words. That I can see that she really wants to rush over and hit me, but my brother-in-law grabbed her arm and kept telling her, calm down, wife, be careful of the children. The brother and sister said everything possible. They think that even if my mother-in-law treats me badly, it is my fault. First, then I have no reason to explain, I said directly. Xie Dejuan asked me to throw it away. Xie Dejuan is my husband, the eldest brother is called Xie Deming, the sister-in-law is called Xie Deqing. As soon as I said this, Xie Deqing was even more furious. She jumped up and pointed at my nose and cursed. Bullshit, even if my second brother spoils you, he can't ask you to throw the dumplings that my mother worked so hard to make into the trash can. You did something wrong yourself, and you want to frame my second brother. My brother-in-law was so scared that he hugged her waist and shouted, don't jump, don't jump. My mother-in-law also cried even louder, Luo Xian, you should speak with conscience. The second brother is at work and not at home. How could he ask you to throw the dumplings away? My husband's work is confidential. After he enters the unit, His phone will be turned off and handed in.so as long as he is at work. He is completely disconnected and no one can contact him. The Xia family also knows this. So when I said this, no one believed it that I said. He said before that if I don't want to eat something, I should throw it into the trash can and don't force myself to eat it. My sister-in-law yelled. He said takeout or snacks. It can't be the dumplings made by my mother. The eldest brother frowned. Luo Xian, don't think that you can lie just because the second brother is not at home. We are talking to you seriously and hope that you will face your problems. Face your ass. It's useless for me to say it, anyway. They only trust their mother, and it's impossible for them to trust me, a person with a different surname. Seeing that it was 12 o'clock, I stood up and said, I will make food for you first. The mother-in-law immediately said, I will make it. You can't cook. The sister-in-law grabbed her. If you can't make it, learn it. Since you are married, you must have the consciousness of being a daughter-in-law. She should serve you. Why should a mother-in-law serve the daughter-in-law? Can you serve her for the rest of your life? The mother-in-law sighed. The dishes she made are not delicious. The sister-in-law snorted coldly. I don't care whether they are delicious or not, as long as she makes it, even if it is dog shit, I will eat it. This is exactly what I want. I went into the kitchen, took out the largest pot in the house, and washed it clean. I boiled a pot of water and poured all the dumplings in. After they were cooked, I served a big bowl to each person, then I carefully brought them out. My mother-in-law suddenly panicked. I made this especially for you, so that you can eat it every morning. You cooked it for this meal. What will you eat in the future? My sister-in-law rolled her eyes at her. My mother is really something. She doesn't care about the dumplings you make. And you still think about her. If she doesn't eat breakfast, then she doesn't eat it. Anyway, it's not you who is hungry. My mother-in-law said to me again, your eldest brother and sister rarely come once. You should cook a few hard dishes. What's the point of just cooking a bowl of dumplings? I said. You eat the dumplings first, and then I will cook. Xia Deming said. Since it's cooked, let's eat it. Speaking of which, I haven't eaten dumplings made by my mother for 2 months, Xia Deqing said. Me too. I want to eat but can't. My mother is partial to my second brother and makes dumplings for them every day, but they don't appreciate it. My eldest sister-in-law and brother-in-law helped and brought the dumplings to everyone. I poured a dish of vinegar and brought it out. The Xia brothers and sisters couldn't wait to pick up the dumplings, dip them in vinegar and put them in their mouths. The eldest sister-in-law and brother-in-law also started eating. Only the mother-in-law didn't move her chopsticks. I picked one and fed it to her mouth. Mom has been busy for a long time and worked hard. Your daughter-in-law will feed you one. Thank you for taking care of me. Her mouth was tightly closed. What? Mom doesn't like dumplings. You made it yourself. You have to try it, the sister-in-law said. My mother likes dumplings the most. Mom, eat it. It's rare for her to show her filial piety to you. Just enjoy it. The mother-in-law turned her face to the side. I won't eat it. I have no appetite. The sister-in-law ate it while glaring at me. Look how you pissed off my mother. She ate several in a row. Probably too fast to taste it. Xia Deming felt something was wrong after eating 2. He spit on the table and said, what's in this stuffing? The eldest sister-in-law also spit it out. Mine seems to have tissues and noodles. The brother-in-law spit it out and said, I have vermicelli here. The sister-in-law made a grumble. Ah. Pa, she spat it out and said, why are there bones? Xia Deming said, why is the filling of the dumplings today so messy? The taste is weird and it tastes terrible. The sister-in-law kept spitting. Not only the filling is unpalatable, but the skin is also unpalatable, as if mud was mixed into the dough when it was kneaded. Is this the dumpling my mother made by herself? I answered. She did make it by herself. Impossible. My mother's cooking skills are so good. How could the dumplings she made be so unpalatable? I smiled. Then you have to ask your mother to know. It's strange. Why didn't she eat the dumplings she made herself? My mother-in-law suddenly cried, Luo Xian, if you don't want to eat dumplings, you can tell me clearly, and I won't make them. Why are you trying to hurt me? What did you put in the filling and the flour? You're even trying to pass the blame on to me? I was furious, and I was filled with evil. Pick up the bowl of dumplings and throw it at her. Beep. The mother-in-law's head and face were covered with dumplings. Ah, the mother-in-law screamed. Oh my God. The eldest sister-in-law stepped back in fear. The younger sister-in-law yelled, Luo Xian, you actually threw it on my mother. Are you crazy? There was chaos all of a sudden. I said in a panic. I'm sorry, my hand slipped. Mom. Go and rinse with cold water. I grabbed my mother-in-law and dragged her into the kitchen quickly, turned on the faucet, and pressed her head under the faucet. Xia Deming rushed in and pulled me away. Luo Xian, are you going to kill my mother? I stepped back and said, if you don't cool it down quickly, her face will be rotten and it will hurt. He helped the mother-in-law up, saw that her face was red, and was so scared that he quickly filled the sink and pressed the mother-in-law's face into the sink. The mother-in-law struggled desperately. He said, Mom, don't move. You bear it first. The sister-in-law came in with a big belly, yelling, Brother, what are you doing? Are you going to drown Mom? Xia Deming pulled the mother-in-law out of the water and explained, Mom's face is burned. If you don't cool it down quickly, it will break the skin, then go to the hospital for treatment and apply burn ointment. You put her in cold water. Aren't you afraid that Mom will go into shock? The mother-in-law was choking and couldn't speak for a long time. Xia Deming replied, I'll take Mom there right away. We returned to the living room. The sister-in-law rushed over to hit me. Luo Xian, you bitch, you hurt my mom like this. I've tolerated you for a long time. I picked up another bowl of dumplings and smashed it heavily at her feet. She screamed in fear and hurriedly stepped back, almost falling down. My brother-in-law supported her from behind. She cursed, Crazy, this woman is crazy. My mother has lived for most of her life and has never been bullied like this, I said coldly. I have lived for half of my life, and I have never been bullied like this. Who bullied you? You burned my mother and buried her. You did it intentionally. I will call the police to arrest you. She took out her mobile phone and called the police. My eldest brother grabbed it and yelled, Why call the police for family affairs? Aren't you ashamed? At this time, the mother-in-law finally caught her breath and cried loudly, It's all my fault. I am old and useless, so I am hated. I will die. I will go out and get hit by a car. She opened the door and ran. Xia Deming hurriedly chased out. My sister-in-law pointed at me angrily and yelled, Luo Xian. If there is anything wrong with my mother, I want you to pay with your life. They all chased out. I looked at the mess on the ground and breathed a sigh of relief. As the saying goes, it is easy to invite gods but difficult to send them away. This uninvited god in my family was finally sent away, before I got married. I never thought that my mother-in-law would come and live with us. My eldest sister-in-law has a child. My younger sister-in-law is pregnant again, and my mother-in-law was taking care of my younger sister-in-law before. So, I thought that my mother-in-law would consider coming to our house only when I got pregnant. Unexpectedly, on the second day of my wedding, my mother-in-law knocked on the door. She said to my husband, You are not at home because you are at work. Luo Xian just got married and is not familiar with everything. I will take care of her so that you don't have to worry about her at work. She brought all the luggage, moved into the second bedroom by herself, and then went into the kitchen to get busy. My husband and I looked at each other in surprise that I was writing on the computer and needed absolute quiet. So I didn't like living with others, but my mother-in-law was kind, and we couldn't refuse. I guess his mother was worried that I had just married and was not used to everything. So she came to accompany me for a while. When I got used to it, she would go back to continue taking care of my younger sister-in-law. But I didn't expect that she would stay for 3 months. Now she is finally gone, and she probably won't come again. I cleaned the room and changed the password of the door lock. Then I sat in front of the computer and wrote peacefully. Not long after, my sister-in-law knocked on the door. Luo Xian, open the door. I'm here to get my mother's clothes. I took out my mother-in-law's luggage and handed it to my brother-in-law, and was about to close the door. My sister-in-law pushed the door and yelled, You caused my mother to be hospitalized. Why don't you go to the hospital to accompany her? I looked at her big belly and said, Oh, okay. I walked out. My sister-in-law stepped back in surprise. You don't change clothes? Oh, then I changed clothes. I suddenly jumped into the door and slammed it shut. My sister-in-law waited for a while, and when she saw that I didn't come out, she slammed the door and yelled, Luo Xian, what do you mean? You don't even care about your mother's hospitalization. I said through the door, your mother has sons and daughters, how can it be my turn as an outsider to accompany her? But I am pregnant, my eldest brother has to go to work, my second brother is not at home, and my eldest sister-in-law not only has to go to work, but also has to pick up and drop off the children. If you don't go to accompany her, who will? I retorted. None of you biological children are free, and you want to outsource filial piety to me, the daughter-in-law. How can you be so ashamed? I am also free. She knocked on the door and scolded. It was you who caused my mother to be hospitalized. Why don't you accompany her? I turned a deaf ear to her and didn't open the door. She couldn't do anything to me, so my brother-in-law took her away. At night, the mobile phone messages kept ringing, many videos were uploaded to the family group. There was a mother-in-law lying on the hospital bed groaning. A doctor gave her N4. There was a sister-in-law who helped her to the bathroom. It was nothing more than one word, playing misery wanted me to feel guilty, blame myself, and take the initiative to take care of her. My mood was calm, without any waves. I blocked the group, turned off the mute, and concentrated on writing. After a while, I thought my mother-in-law should be discharged from the hospital, so I glanced at the family group again. Sure enough, my mother-in-law moved into my sister-in-law's house. I in the video, my sister-in-law was feeding my mother-in-law with a big belly, patting her shoulders, and dressing her. She said in a weird tone, Mom, is your youngest daughter better than some people? My mother-in-law nodded and praised. My youngest daughter is the best. I laughed. You are biological mother and daughter. It would be abnormal if you are not good. Since then, I rarely enter the group to read messages, and concentrate on writing every day. Half a month later, I finished the manuscript, packed my luggage and went out to collect folk songs and find inspiration for the next book. Just 2 days after leaving, my mother-in-law called me. Luo Xian, why can't I open this door? Help me open it. I didn't expect her to come to my house again, and replied, I'm not at home. The sister-in-law's voice roared. Then tell Mom the password. It's not your home alone. Why don't you let my mom in? I curled my lips. Hello, hello. What did you say? I was collecting folk songs in the mountains, and the signal was not good. My mother-in-law said, Luo Xian, did you eat well? You must eat breakfast, otherwise your stomach will be in trouble. Wear more clothes when you go out. Don't catch a cold. I continued. Hello, hello. Are you still listening? The signal is really bad. My sister-in-law was so angry that she said, Mom, are you a bitch? People kicked you out. And you still worry about her. Mother-in-law sighed. When your second brother was a child, I was too strict with him, so he had a problem with me. Now I don't take good care of his wife. I'm afraid he will hate me even more. My sister-in-law said angrily, my second brother is a blind man, marrying such a ghost. Wait for him to come back and let him divorce. If he doesn't divorce, I will post Luo Xin's abuse of my mother on the internet to ruin this bitch's reputation. The phone was hung up. I know that my sister-in-law said this intentionally, just to threaten me to give in to my mother-in-law. After the field trip, I returned home to continue writing. Soon it was the Chinese New Year, and my husband also took a vacation. He hugged me as soon as he entered the room and asked, have you been wronged? When he turned on his phone, he saw the group message. I said, no, it was your mother who was wrong. He didn't say anything else, just cared about being intimate with me. He was rushing to a very urgent task this time, and he hadn't come back since his wedding leave. We missed each other very much. After 3 months of separation, only 2 hours after we were alone, my husband's phone rang. It was my mother-in-law. Second son, you and Luo Xian go to your eldest brother's house to hold a family meeting and solve their problems. Then my husband asked, what happened to my eldest brother? Your eldest sister-in-law made a mistake, let's go and help her correct it. Okay. I was confused. My eldest sister-in-law left a good impression on me. She was not as enthusiastic as my mother-in-law, nor as arrogant as my sister-in-law. She is gentle and virtuous, careful and prudent, diligent and polite. I can't imagine what kind of mistakes my sister-in-law could make that would cause the whole family to hold a family meeting to criticize her. My husband said, let me check the group. I also picked up my phone to check the group and found that my brother and sister-in-law had quarreled. Xia Deming tagged my sister-in-law in the group. Wife, did you buy a quilt for your mother? My sister-in-law replied. Yes, I bought one. Why didn't you discuss it with me? My sister-in-law said. I have been married to your family for more than 10 years. This is the first time I bought a quilt for my mother. I spent less than 1,000 yuan. Do I have to ask you for permission? My brother said seriously. As long as it is not for buying things for the family, even if it is 100 yuan, you should tell me. Besides, this is not the first time. I reminded you the last time you bought clothes for your mother. My sister-in-law was so angry that she cried. Isn't that my mother's birthday? I have been married to your family for more than 10 years and only bought one piece of clothing for my mother. Am I going too far? The elder brother got angry. Are you still right? Did I say I didn't allow you to buy it? What I asked was why you didn't discuss it with me. The elder sister-in-law cried so hard. I earn more than 8,000 yuan a month, but I don't even have the freedom to spend 1,000 yuan. Do I have to discuss it with you? I don't eat for free, and I spend my own money to buy things for my mother, so why can't I do that? What do you mean by your own money? Are you my wife? The couple started arguing. I said, we don't need to go, do we? It's common for couples to quarrel, and it would be troublesome if we go. The husband said, this is what I told you before, to hold a family meeting to solve the problem. When I got married, my husband told me that their family had the habit of holding family meetings. The problem between husband and wife is the problem of the whole family. When one person made a mistake, the whole family would come to criticize and help correct the shortcomings and mistakes. I nodded. The last time they all came to our house, they held a family meeting to criticize me, but I didn't accept it, and we ended up leaving unhappily. My husband touched my head and said, I told you, if my mother does something wrong, don't bury her. I'll talk to her when I get back. He was afraid that I would be criticized by the whole family, so he repeatedly told me not to provoke my mother-in-law. So, I dumped the dumplings into the trash can that day, and was caught by my mother-in-law. I really regretted it. I asked, will my sister-in-law and I be tried together today? My husband laughed out loud, hugged me and said, don't worry, with your husband here, no one dares to try you. I also want to see how they are going to try me. If they make me angry, I will make them fall down. When we arrived at my eldest brother's house, my sister-in-law and her husband and my mother-in-law had already arrived. Everyone sat down, and my sister-in-law made tea for everyone, and there was no room. There was a chair in the middle of the living room. My mother-in-law pointed at the chair. Sit down, eldest daughter-in-law, and tell me what's going on with you. I rolled my eyes, looking at this posture. It is clear that my sister-in-law is being tried as a criminal. The elder brother crossed his arms and looked at the elder sister-in-law confidently. If you think you are right, then you speak first. The elder sister-in-law sat down on the chair and explained aggrievedly, I have been married for so many years, and I buy clothes for my mother and gifts for my brother-in-law and sister-in-law every year. I have fulfilled my responsibilities as a daughter-in-law, right? But I have not fulfilled my responsibilities as a daughter. My mother's home is far away, and I only go back once every few years. The last time I went back, I saw that the quilt on my mother's bed was very thin. I was afraid that she would catch a cold, so I bought a set of bedding and sent it back. I spent less than 1,000 yuan, and Xie Deming kept nagging, as if I had committed some unforgivable crime. The younger sister-in-law said, the elder sister-in-law is filial, this is an advantage, we should affirm it, but if you marry the elder brother, the money you earn will belong to the common property of the couple. If the money you spend is not used for family expenses, then the elder brother has the right to know where you spend the money. To put it bluntly, if you buy things for other men, will my elder brother feel very uncomfortable? This is the elder brother's expression of love for you, indicating that he is jealous. Of course, I know that the elder sister-in-law will not do such a thing that is immoral. Then again, if you spend money on your family, you should also tell my brother, send it to your mother in my brother's name, your mother will be happy, and my brother will also have face. Is it right? The elder brother said, it is still my younger sister who understands me, my wife. You have lived with me for more than 10 years, and you still don't understand my mind. You have bought things for your mother alone without my knowledge. How will others see me? Will they say that I am an unfilial son-in-law? The elder sister-in-law nodded, I know. I will discuss it with you next time I buy something. The elder brother patted the elder sister-in-law on the shoulder humorously. This is my good wife. It's okay, you know your mistakes and can correct them. You are still a good comrade. That I vaguely feel that this is not right. How can it be the elder sister-in-law's fault alone? They have been married for so many years. Not to mention that the eldest brother did not take the initiative to help his mother-in-law buy things, but the eldest sister-in-law bought a piece of clothing and a set of bedding for her parents' home. But it became her fault alone, and she was criticized by the whole family. At this time, the mother-in-law made a summary speech. Since you married into our CF family, you are a member of the CF family. Everything you have belongs to the CF family. So don't say anything in the future. You spend your own money. Family members can't say two things, otherwise. What if the eldest brother also spends money behind your back? If he spends money on other women, are you happy? I saw that the eldest sister-in-law's expression was obviously stiff for a moment. The eldest brother immediately interrupted. What are you talking about, Mom? I'm not stupid. How could I spend money on other women? The mother-in-law looked at the eldest sister-in-law and said, Look, how loyal the eldest brother is to you. Husband and wife should be loyal and faithful, and the family's money should not be spent on outsiders. That I came to my senses. It turns out that after their family marries a daughter-in-law, the money earned by the daughter-in-law can be spent on her husband and her parents-in-law. You can even spend money on your brother-in-law and sister-in-law. You just can't spend money on your mother's family, because to the Xie family, anyone who is not surnamed Xie is an outsider. The daughter-in-law's family is definitely an outsider. I thought my sister-in-law was going to refute my mother-in-law, but she didn't. She just lowered her head and said, I know, My brother patted her shoulder. Go cook. Mom and my brother and sister came to solve our problems today. They are very hard. You should cook a few more hard dishes. My sister-in-law went silently. I remembered that my mother-in-law asked me to cook a few hard dishes that day, and I couldn't help laughing. It turned out that their family bullied someone together, and the bullied people had to treat them with good wine and food, but my sister-in-law didn't say anything herself, and I didn't want to speak up for her. After eating and drinking, Xia Deming said with a red face, my family's affairs have been resolved. Now let's talk about the second brother's family. My husband smiled. My brother asked us to come here. The point is to talk about my wife, right? It's good that you know. Last time you were not at home, my sister-in-law lied a lot. Now that you are back, I want to hear what you have to say. My husband said, I want to hear what my wife has to say first. Xia Deming put the chair in the middle of the living room. Come and sit, sister-in-law. I was about to get angry, but my husband put his arm around my shoulders. My wife will sit with me. My mother-in-law's face suddenly became ugly. The sister-in-law shouted, Second brother, do you understand the rules? My husband looked at her and asked, What rules? In our family, those who have done something wrong have to sit in the middle so that everyone can see her attitude of admitting her mistakes. What do you mean by protecting her like this? My husband laughed. She is my wife. What's wrong with me protecting her? When you were bullied by your in-laws, you don't want your brother-in-law to protect you, the sister-in-law said unconvinced. I didn't do anything wrong. My husband snorted. What did my wife do wrong? She hasn't spoken yet, and you have convicted her. The sister-in-law frowned. Second brother, we are helping you. My husband slapped the coffee table. You bullied my wife, and you still have the nerve to say you are helping me? Help me with what? Help me destroy my family. With a snap, everyone was shocked. The sister-in-law jumped up in anger. Why are you so fierce? My brother-in-law quickly grabbed her. Don't get excited. Be careful of the fetus. The family had originally decided to interrogate me like the eldest sister-in-law. Unexpectedly, my husband was the first to make his attitude clear and stand on my side. We were all dumbfounded for a moment. The eldest brother stood up to smooth things over. Second brother, you and your wife separated just after getting married, and you haven't seen each other for several months. You feel sorry for your wife, and we all understand, but right is right, wrong is wrong. You can't blindly favor your younger brother and sister. Dad died early, and it was not easy for Mom to raise the three of us brothers and sisters alone. Isn't it right for us to be filial to her now? Your job is special, and you can't be filial to Mom, and we understand that. Mom also helped you take care of your wife, and she didn't even have time to pick up my daughter for me. she didn't have time to take care of my pregnant younger sister. We didn't say anything, but what did your wife do? She didn't eat the rice cooked by Mom, and ordered takeout. She threw the dumplings that Mom made for her into the trash can. We went to your house that day and wanted to find out what was going on. Luo Xan actually splashed the cooked dumplings on Mom's face. The dumplings were just out of the pot, steaming hot. How hot was that? If I didn't quickly get Mom into the pool to cool down, Mom's face would have rotted. During Mom's hospitalization, Luo Xan didn't come to the hospital to see her, and didn't even call her second son. Tell me yourself, did your wife do the right thing? My husband hasn't spoken yet, and my mother-in-law took over again, repeating how hard she worked to take care of me and accusing me of being ungrateful. She focused on how tired she was from making dumplings by hand that day. She accused me of throwing the dumplings into the trash can and wasting food with tears that I interrupted. I didn't waste it. After Mom picked up the dumplings from the trash can, I cooked them and served them to you, but you only ate a few and then stopped eating. Finally, I emptied the trash can. It was you who wasted it, not me. My sister-in-law's eyes widened. What? You picked up the dumplings from the trash can and cooked them for us? No wonder the taste is weird. I looked at her like an idiot. Mom took a video that day, and the dumplings were in the trash can. When I cooked them for you, no one objected. My sister-in-law couldn't help but blame her mother. Why didn't Mom remind us that day? I laughed. How else should I remind you? She didn't eat them herself. Can't you see? Mom said she had no appetite. Nonsense. If you saw that the dumplings were picked up from the trash can, you would have no appetite. I can't do it anymore. My sister-in-law got up and ran, and soon, the sound of vomiting came from the bathroom. My husband asked me concernedly, did you eat it too? Of course I didn't. I smiled. I put half a bowl of cold water in my bowl of dumplings, so I can't eat it. My husband didn't understand. Why did you put cold water in it? I answered. If someone makes trouble for me, I will throw it in their face. Xia Deming was furious. Did you plan to throw it on my mother when you cooked the dumplings? No, I will throw it on whoever provokes me. I looked at him and smiled sinisterly. If you provoke me, I will take your bowl and throw it, and then it won't be a matter of staying in the hospital for 3 days. I thought Xia Deming would hit me that day. He dared to slap me, so I threw the hot dumplings on him, clearly in self-defense. You. Xia Deming's face turned red, but he couldn't say a word. My husband suddenly realized and said, so the dumplings you threw on my mother were not hot, right? After all, I don't want to go to the police station, Xia Deming said angrily. Second brother, is this a question of whether the dumplings are hot or not? If the dumplings are not hot, can your wife throw them on Mom's face? At this time, my sister-in-law came out of the bathroom and accused me of hurting my mother-in-law and not taking care of her. The brother and sister stared at me indignantly. I had no expression on my face. After they were quiet, my husband asked slowly, is Mom finished? No, then you continue. My mother-in-law said, I picked up the dumplings from the trash can, but I didn't ask her to cook them for your eldest brother and sister. I interrupted her. You want me to eat them? Is this what you always say about taking care of me? Didn't I take care of you? My eldest brother and sister-in-law also yelled at me. Didn't my mother cook for you? Didn't she wash your clothes? You are a heartless, ungrateful person. 3 mouths fired at me together, and I covered my ears. Okay. My husband suddenly raised his voice. You have finished talking, now it is my wife's turn to speak. Be quiet. Several people stopped arguing. The sister-in-law pointed at the chair. Sit in the middle and talk. I stared at her coldly. You can sit in the middle and listen. Why? I did nothing wrong. My husband said sternly. Nothing wrong. You are a married sister-in-law. Why do you care about your mother's family, and yell at your second sister-in-law? The sister-in-law was shocked and aggrieved. Mom called me here. Mom called you here. So Mom was wrong. You should be a good guest when you come. Why do you point fingers at your sister-in-law? The sister-in-law was very unconvinced. I am not just talking about your wife. Don't I criticize my eldest sister-in-law in the same way? My husband sneered. You are still right. I don't care whether the eldest brother protects the eldest sister-in-law or not. But I must protect my wife. None of you can bully her. The room suddenly became quiet. The Xia family members were embarrassed. The eldest sister-in-law looked a little sad, the brother-in-law was a little gloating. This seemingly harmonious family had a corner of its fig leaf torn off by my husband today. Of course, I am probably the culprit. The eldest brother tried to smooth things over. Second brother, little sister, stop arguing and listen to Luo Qing's explanation first, the mother-in-law suddenly cried. It's all my fault, it's all my fault, woo-woo my husband said. Mom also knows that you are wrong. In the past, every time we held a family meeting, I sat in the middle and was criticized by you in turn. Now you want my wife to sit in the middle. She didn't say a word, but you convicted her. Do you think we are easy to bully? The eldest brother said unhappily. Second brother, what you said is wrong. We are not targeting you. Didn't we criticize your eldest sister-in-law just now? We just want to help my sister-in-law correct her mistakes and let her integrate into our big family as soon as possible. My husband sneered and interrupted him. It's just a small matter for my sister-in-law to buy a set of bedding. Why do you make such a big fuss about it? Criticizing my sister-in-law is to kill the chicken to scare the monkeys to my wife. My sister-in-law is just a victim of this matter. I looked at my sister-in-law and her tears flowed. Maybe she realized now that my brother deliberately questioned her in the group. How disappointed she must be. In order to teach my sister-in-law who had just been married for 3 months, her husband dragged her out to accompany the killing. My brother's face flushed and he shouted. Xie Dejuan, don't try to sow discord between us. She knows how I treat your sister-in-law. My husband laughed. Then why do you want to sow discord between me and my wife? You are playing tricks on my wife in the group just for me to see. You want me to come back and teach her a lesson, right? What are the consequences of me teaching her a lesson? Divorce. Is it good for you if I get divorced? The eldest brother said. We won't let you get divorced. We just hope you can see clearly what kind of person your wife is. The sister-in-law also said. That's right. Aren't we afraid that you will be fooled? Even if I am fooled by my wife, I am willing. The brother and sister were speechless. My husband looked at me. Wife, go on. Let them see how you hurt Mom. I said, to tell you the truth, since Xie Dejuan went to work, Mom and I have not eaten together. She does hers and I do mine, the sister-in-law yelled. How dare you say that? Mom cooks for you, but you don't eat and order takeout, causing Mom to eat leftovers every day. I suddenly didn't want to say anything, okay? It's a waste of words to reason with unreasonable people like you. Turn on the TV, I'll cast the screen, and you can watch it yourself. My husband got up and turned on the TV. I projected the surveillance video saved on my mobile phone onto the TV. It started with the content of my husband's wedding leave at home. At that time, my mother-in-law served us very attentively. In the morning, she got up early, cooked porridge, steamed buns, fried side dishes, spread egg pancakes, and heated milk. We got up, washed and started eating. The family of 3 sat around the table. Happy and harmonious. After dinner, she washed clothes and mopped the floor, busy all the time. My sister-in-law looked at her and muttered, look how good my mother is to you. My mother is partial to my second brother and second sister-in-law. I, a pregnant woman, don't enjoy such a blessing. No one paid attention to her. Only my mother-in-law asked nervously, Big brother, how did you get this? Why can you see it on your TV? My eldest brother explained to her. This is a video recorded on my younger brother's mobile phone. And it was projected onto our TV. My mother-in-law was so angry that her lips trembled. What? She also secretly filmed me, my husband said. Why are you nervous, Mom? This was not secretly filmed by Luo Xian. I installed the surveillance. My sister-in-law asked. Why did you install surveillance at home? Do you want to monitor your mother while she is working? My husband replied with a smile. I installed surveillance before I got married, installed in the living room, so that when your second sister-in-law goes out, she can check the situation at home at any time. Installed in the kitchen, because I am worried that your second sister-in-law will forget the stewed dishes in the pot when she is working, so I can call the police to remind her. The sister-in-law was speechless. The content after the video made her speechless even more. My husband's wedding leave is over, and he went to work. The next morning, my mother-in-law cooked a pot of porridge and said to me, Luo Xian, let's eat simple food, just some porridge and Kimchi, wait until the second son comes back, and then cook properly. I said. He will not come back until the Chinese New Year, and we have been eating kimchi for the past few months. That's not the case. I mean, we have been eating too much oil and meat during this period, so we should eat light food these days. This makes sense. During the marriage period, we did eat a lot of fish and meat every day. I agreed. My mother-in-law cooked a big pot of porridge in the morning, and we didn't finish it at 18 noon. She heated it up and continued to eat, leaving half a bowl. At 18 night, she added water to make it thin. And it became 2 bowls. I drank a bowl in one breath. I ate porridge and kimchi for 3 consecutive days. On the 4th morning, when my mother-in-law called me to eat, there were 2 bowls of black paste on the table. My mother-in-law smiled and said, "This is the multigrain flour I bought yesterday. It is fried and can be eaten after being rinsed with boiling water. We will eat this for breakfast in the future. It is healthy and not expensive. It costs 10 yuan per caddy. My mother and I can't finish it in half a month." I said, "This is not enough to eat," she said. "It's right to not eat enough. Experts say that eating 7 points full at a meal is a healthy eating habit. If you continue like this, your body will collapse early, and I feel very distressed. Young people don't pay attention to health preservation. They eat a lot of fish and meat every day. They try their best to eat delicious things. They would rather starve if they don't like to eat. Today, she said this for my good. What can I say?" In the morning, she cooked porridge, fried a vegetable dish, and grabbed a bowl of kimchi at noon. 18 night. She boiled the leftover porridge with water. After eating it for a week, I couldn't stand it anymore and ordered takeout. 1 portion of twice cooked pork, 1 portion of fish-flavored pork shreds, and 2 boxes of rice. When my mother-in-law saw the takeout, her face turned black. "We have rice and vegetables at home, why are you buying it?" I said, "I want to eat meat." I pushed a portion of rice to her. She said, "I don't eat it. I eat porridge." She also doesn't eat twice cooked pork and fish-flavored pork shreds. She drinks porridge and eats vegetables. The video ends. I said. From this day on, my mother and I ate our own food. Although we ate our own food, my mother-in-law and I never quarreled and treated each other with respect. The Xia brothers and sisters became even more angry. The sister-in-law said, "You order takeout every day, eat big fish and meat, and let my mother eat porridge and vegetables? What a cruel heart. Can you eat it?" Xia Deming said, "Second brother, tell me yourself, is your wife right?" My husband said, "Is there something wrong with your eyes? Didn't you see my wife asking my mother to eat meat, if she doesn't eat it herself? Can my wife force her to eat it?" My sister-in-law said, "Then she can't eat alone." I sneered, "What you mean is that I should accompany my mother to eat porridge and vegetables? Anyway, eating alone is not allowed in our family, but your mother also eats alone." Nonsense, my mother never eats alone. Then continue watching. I clicked on the next video. My mother-in-law bought a steamed pork belly, a big bowl of rice, and a fried egg soup in a restaurant, and she ate it very deliciously. My sister-in-law argued, "My mother saw you eating takeout, which aroused her gluttony. So she went into the restaurant to eat." I laughed. Please check the time of the video shooting. She ate alone in the restaurant first, and I saw her. I was so angry that I ordered takeout. I thought it was strange at first. I was so hungry that I ate snacks in the study every day. How could she bear it? It turned out that she had eaten outside secretly. My mother-in-law immediately took over. "Yes, you eat snacks in the study when you are hungry, but I can't eat outside when I am hungry." I asked back, "What do you mean by telling your daughter that you spent all your pension on me?" My husband also said, "Spend your pension? I transferred 10,000 yuan to you, and you haven't eaten it all in the past few months." My mother-in-law's face turned red and my sister-in-law yelled again, "Didn't mom make dumplings specifically for my second sister-in-law later?" Even if mom had offended my second sister-in-law before, this can be regarded as an apology. "But why did you add some messy things to the filling and flour?" "Ah, I understand, you did it on purpose, so mom wrapped the dumplings and you threw them into the trash can." "You framed mom like this. You want to drive mom out of your house?" I smiled. "You are so smart." I did ask her to leave my house. I told her that I needed quiet, but she always played short videos very loudly. Or she talked to you on video chat, as if she was arguing, and people from the opposite building asked her to speak softly. She made so much noise during the day that I couldn't concentrate on writing, so I had to work overtime at night. My sister-in-law said, "Can't you just ask Mom to speak softly?" I laughed. "Do you think I didn't?" She lowered her voice for a while, then got louder again that I couldn't write during the day, so I had to work overtime at night. That I didn't go to bed until 2 or 3 in the morning, but she called me up to eat at 6 o'clock. That I said I didn't want to eat and told her to leave me alone. She knocked on the door again and again, saying that it was not good to not eat breakfast, and that early to bed and early to rise were good for health. The noise made me very annoyed. That I tolerated her again and again for the sake of your second brother. Finally, I couldn't stand it anymore and told her not to call me for breakfast, or to play short videos or make phone calls at home. If she couldn't do it, she should leave. She said that not letting her play short videos was like asking for her life. She chose to leave, but was worried that I wouldn't eat breakfast. She said she would make some dumplings for me and put them in the refrigerator so that I could cook them every morning. My sister-in-law interrupted again. "Look, you are about to drive my mother away, but she still thinks about you everywhere." I stopped talking nonsense and clicked on the next video. Mom is really hard to make dumplings. You can see how she makes them. The shooting time was 4 o'clock in the morning. At that time, I had just fallen asleep for an hour. She chopped in the kitchen. I thought it would only take half a day, so I endured it. She chopped for a long time. I wanted to sleep but couldn't. My eyes were swollen and painful, very painful. I turned on the monitoring on my phone to see how long she would continue chopping. As a result, she just finished chopping and took out the takeaway box I had left. I couldn't help but stare at her, not knowing what she was going to do. I put those boxes in a black garbage bag and threw them out every 2 or 3 days. My mother-in-law would not help me throw them out. Not only did we eat separately, but we also washed our own clothes and took care of our own garbage. She poured the leftover hot and sour noodles, snail noodles, cooking oil and soup from the box into the stuffing. She didn't even take out the paper towels I threw in the box. She stirred and cursed viciously. "I told you to eat. I told you to eat, but you vomited and had diarrhea." She also spit a few times. I was so disgusted that I almost vomited. Then she kneaded the dough, poured out the flour, left the kitchen, went to the balcony of the living room, grabbed a handful of soil from the flour pot and sprinkled it into the flour. Because the soil was not mixed much, it was not visible, but I guess the taste must be bad. Later, while making dumplings, she also cursed, "Eat you to death, eat you to death." Before the sister-in-law finished watching, she ran into the bathroom to vomit. It was miserable for a pregnant woman to see this thing. And the key was that she ate the most that day. After the video was played, I said, "Do you understand why I threw it into the trash can now?" The mother-in-law buried her head and didn't speak. The eldest brother asked me, "Why didn't you play this video that day?" Although he didn't vomit, thinking about the dumplings he ate into his stomach, I'm afraid his stomach was also very uncomfortable. I laughed. "Have you asked me the reason? If you ask me why I dumped the dumplings into the trash can, I will play the video." My eldest brother said, "We didn't ask. So why can't you take the initiative to speak?" I asked back. "Did you give me a chance to speak?" As soon as I entered the door, I scolded me for being unfilial and forced me to apologize to your mother. "Tell me yourself, for all the things she did, do I need to apologize to her?" At this time, my eldest sister-in-law asked, "Since Mom doesn't get along well with my younger brother's wife, why doesn't she come to our house?" I snorted. "I persuaded her to come to your house, but she said she didn't want to come." Because my younger sister-in-law just came out of the bathroom and interrupted me with a pale face and asked, "Mom doesn't like my second sister-in-law, why doesn't she come to our house?" I answered, "She said that in your house, she is not free at all, you always order her to do this and that," and my younger sister-in-law yelled, "My mother can't say bad things about me and my eldest brother, don't try to sow discord." I asked for a sleep hammer. I said, "Let's watch the surveillance." These words were talked about when we were eating in the dining room. Although there is no surveillance in the dining room, the surveillance in the kitchen can hear the sound. I persuaded my mother-in-law to live with my eldest brother for a while. "Don't you miss your granddaughter?" My mother-in-law said. "I don't want to go." His family is too tiring that I help them pick up and drop off the children, running 4 times a day. They don't care about the weekends, just live in their own world that I have to take care of the children, cook for them, wash clothes, and clean that I am so tired every day that my waist and back ache. Children nowadays are not easy to manage, and that little girl is particularly annoying, and you can't beat or scold her. Taking care of this child is more tiring than when I took care of the 3 siblings. My eldest brother and sister-in-law looked very ugly that I in the video. I said again, then Mom, go see the little sister. She is now 4 months pregnant and needs care. You are her biological mother, you can take care of her more carefully. My mother-in-law shook her head again and again. Oh, stop talking about her, she used to love to talk, and after she got pregnant, she made me run around every day. She is picky and complains about the taste of the dishes I cook. She complains about every dish I cook. She doesn't give me money to buy food, and all my pension money depends on her. She also complains that I don't mop the floor cleanly, and asks me to mop 5 times a day, once in the morning, once after every meal, and once before going to bed at night, saying that she has mysophobia. She also complains that my hair falls too much, that it's obviously her long hair, but she blames it on my head. My sister-in-law was furious after seeing it, and shouted at her mother, Mom, how can you make up such a story about me in front of outsiders? I speak for you everywhere, but you actually say that I am picky and order you to work. Am I so bad? My mother-in-law said aggrievedly. She tricked me into saying that. She wanted to drive me away, so she tricked me into saying bad things about you. Unfortunately, the facts are there, and her children don't believe her anymore. My husband said, it seems that Mom is very tired in your 2 families. How easy it is to be in my house. She only cooks her own meals. Or she makes a bowl of porridge and eats it, and then goes out to eat delicious food in the restaurant. She only washes her clothes, and my wife washes her own. Sweeping and mopping the floor is up to her mood. She can mop once a week or once a month. If she doesn't mop, my wife will mop. My wife doesn't complain, and never asks her to work. There are no children in my family to bother her. He suddenly turned to the mother-in-law and asked, since you like my family, why do you abuse Luo Xian? The mother-in-law burst into tears before she spoke, crying and saying, I came to your house not to enjoy the good life, but to take care of your wife. That I hope you will have children soon and give me a big fat grandson. But you 2 have been married for 4 months, and Luo Xian's belly is still not moving. That I came to your house to serve pregnant women, not chickens that can't lay eggs, I retorted. My husband went to work the day after. We were married for only half a month, and you started to criticize me. Did you know I was not pregnant at that time? She said confidently. How could I not know? When your eldest sister-in-law got married, she was already 4 months pregnant. Your sister was also pregnant for 2 months before getting married, but you have been married for half a month without any movement, and you are still not pregnant. Am I wronging you? My husband was angry and shouted, in your eyes, getting pregnant before marriage is very glorious, right? You were also very glorious when you got pregnant before marriage. I looked at him in surprise at why mother-in-law got pregnant before marriage. Was it my eldest brother who was pregnant? My eldest brother and my sister-in-law were also confused and why sister-in-law asked, second brother, what do you mean by this? Who did my mother get pregnant before marriage? How did you know? Before my husband could answer, my mother-in-law burst into tears. What's wrong with me wanting a grandson? Your eldest brother gave birth to a girl. Even if your sister gave birth to a son, she would not be named Xie. That I was counting on you to give birth to a son to carry on the family line, but you slandered me like this. My sister-in-law yelled. Mom, what are you talking about? My child doesn't have the surname Xie, but he is also related to you by blood, right? Besides, if you value this surname, can't I just let my child have my surname? My eldest brother said. I just realized now that my mother favors boys over girls. You used to dote on my younger sister so much. I thought you favored girls over boys. That my mother-in-law yelled. It's all my fault. I won't live anymore. I'd rather be hit by a car and die. She rushed out. My eldest brother and brother-in-law chased after her. My eldest sister-in-law looked at us and ran out too. My sister-in-law glared at me. are you satisfied with what you have done to our family? I said angrily. It's none of my business, your family is a sludge pit, and a bunch of people only know how to bully people with different surnames. Am I wrong to not let you bully them? My sister-in-law called my husband, second brother, listen to what she said. My husband said to her, is my wife wrong? You see family members gang up to bully the eldest sister-in-law. Bully your husband, and want to bully my wife, but my wife is not a vegetarian. My sister-in-law was confused by his call. We Sia family, isn't your surname Sia? My husband sneered, my surname is Sia, but it's not the same Sia as you. He pulled me, let's go home, my sister-in-law shouted. You made mom so angry, and you just left like that, don't care about her, my husband said. Sia Daching, remember one thing. Your mom is in this situation because of you and your eldest brother. If you were a little more filial to her and didn't ask her to work every day, she wouldn't stay in my house. So don't accuse us of being unfilial. The real unfilial ones are you. You and your sister are both hypocrites. You are sanctimonious on the surface, but mean and despicable in your heart. She talks about morality and justice, but she only thinks about benefits. From now on, I have nothing to do with you, and don't bother us. We left while my sister-in-law was stunned. When we went downstairs, we saw my mother-in-law sitting on the ground, and my eldest brother picked her up. She cried and said, don't worry about me, just let me die, I'm old and useless. And it's a waste of food to live. Suddenly she saw us coming, and she cried even louder. I ran to the middle of the road, hoping to be hit by a car, but it didn't hit me, it just drove around me and left. Why is my life so miserable? I couldn't die even if I wanted to. Sob. The sister-in-law's voice was panicked. Second brother, come quickly. My eldest brother had a car accident and needs amputation, but my eldest sister-in-law is missing. We rushed to the hospital. And my eldest brother had already entered the operating room. My sister-in-law signed the signature. My mother-in-law and my eldest brother's daughter were also in the hospital. She started crying again. Why did the car hit my son, not kill me? The little niece suddenly yelled, Grandma. You are still talking nonsense. It was because of your curse that my dad had a car accident. The mother-in-law was stunned. What did you say? I cursed your dad. How could I curse him? You kept saying last night that you wanted to be hit by a car, let the car hit you. And my dad had a car accident. The 11-year-old niece was eloquent and clear-minded. She quickly explained what happened in her home last night. It turned out that after we left last night, my eldest brother dragged my mother-in-law back home. She kept cursing the driver for not hitting her, and she wanted to die but couldn't. The eldest sister-in-law was upset and said angrily, the driver is not a fool. You are relieved by hitting you, but they are in big trouble. Not only do they have to pay compensation, but they also have a psychological shadow for life. When Sia Deming was driving, he would slow down and take a detour if a cat appeared on the road. Besides, how could the driver hit you directly? As a result, the eldest brother got angry again and yelled at the eldest sister-in-law, how can you talk to mom? You know that mom is in a bad mood, but you are still mean to her. Apologize to mom. The eldest sister-in-law looked at him disappointedly. Sia Deming, I have been married to you for more than 10 years. Whenever I have a conflict with your family, no matter whether it is my fault or not, you force me to apologize. In your heart, I am an outsider, right? Your mother and your sister are your relatives, okay, then divorce. She went into the bedroom to pack her clothes. The eldest brother rushed in and snatched her luggage. You want a divorce, right? Then get out now. The things in this room are all our Sia family, and have nothing to do with you. The eldest sister-in-law didn't argue a word and turned away. The eldest brother didn't expect that the eldest sister-in-law would really run away from home. She didn't take her mobile phone, bank card or ID card. He was worried that something happened to the eldest sister-in-law and wanted to chase her back, but the mother-in-law held him and said, what are you chasing? Her parents' home is far away, she has nowhere to go, and she will come back in a while. When couples quarrel, it's about who is cruel. If you are soft-hearted first, she will control you tightly in the future and run away from home at any time. The eldest brother thought his mother was right, so he didn't chase her. The little niece cried and wanted to find her mother. But the eldest brother beat her with a clothes hanger several times and forced her to go back to her room to sleep. Then in the morning, the sister-in-law called the mother-in-law and said that she received a call from the police and the eldest brother had a car accident. After the police investigated, they restored the scene of the car accident. The eldest brother drove out in the early morning at a very fast speed and almost hit a pedestrian. In order to avoid pedestrians, he turned the steering wheel sharply. But he hit the truck coming from the opposite direction. So he was seriously injured. He is still in the operating room, the sister-in-law said. The doctor said that he must have an amputation to save his life, so I can only sign. The mother-in-law beat her chest and stamped her feet and shouted, I cursed myself. I let the car hit me to death. I am 60 years old. I have lived enough. But my son is only 38 years old. I didn't let my son get into a car accident. God, please take me away. The sister-in-law yelled, Mom, shut up. You think you are cursing yourself. But you are hurting others. When we were young, you said that we should not swear blindly. You said that people are watching what they do, and there are gods 3 feet above the ground. You said that swearing is most effective when you have done bad things, but it is not effective when you have not done things. Then you want the car to hit you. Is it a bad thing? Your own children are all drivers, and you actually cursed with a car accident. This is retribution for the eldest brother. The retribution is on your son. Are you satisfied? The mother-in-law grumbled. I cursed myself. What can I do if the car doesn't hit me? The sister-in-law yelled angrily. You are still talking. Can't you just not say the word car? The mother-in-law cried again. I shouldn't talk. I won't talk in the future. I'll just be a mute. Woo woo woo. I looked at my husband. He immediately understood what I meant. You go back. I'll take you. I stopped him. You wait for the eldest brother to come out. I'll go back alone. When I turned around, I heard the sister-in-law say, no conscience, the eldest brother is still in surgery, life or death is uncertain. She just left like this. My husband said coldly, that's your eldest brother, not my wife's eldest brother. Your eldest brother is not that good to my wife. Why should I have a conscience for him? When I got home, I saw my eldest sister-in-law standing at the door. Her eyes were red, and it was obvious that she had been crying for a long time. She forced a smile and said, you are not at home. No wonder you didn't come out when I rang the doorbell. I opened the door. My eldest sister-in-law came in and sat down. She came in and started crying. I want a divorce. My eldest sister-in-law talked about the grievances she had suffered in her husband's family in the years since she got married. There were too many, and the slightest mistake would attract criticism from the whole family. When the child was young, my mother-in-law nominally helped my eldest sister-in-law take care of the child, but in fact she mainly served my eldest brother. The dishes she cooked were always my eldest brother's favorite. My eldest brother loves to eat chili peppers. And they are very spicy. Every dish cooked by my mother-in-law is extremely spicy. My eldest brother praised repeatedly. My mother's cooking is delicious, but when my eldest sister-in-law was breastfeeding the child would get angry after eating chili peppers, and cry when defecating or urinating. The child cried in the middle of the night, making my eldest brother unable to sleep well. My mother-in-law also called the whole family to hold a family meeting, criticizing my eldest sister-in-law for not taking good care of the child and affecting my eldest brother's sleep. The child was sent to the nursery at the age of 2, and my eldest sister-in-law went to work. My mother-in-law was responsible for picking up and dropping off the child. As soon as my eldest sister-in-law got off work, my mother-in-law sighed and hit her waist, saying that she was too tired. My younger sister-in-law saw it and also held a family meeting, criticizing my eldest sister-in-law for leaving all the children and housework to my mother. She said, sister-in-law, you have to understand that it is a favor for me to help you take care of the child, and it is my duty not to help you take care of the child. I am kind to help you, and you can't leave all the work to my mother. As soon as my eldest sister-in-law made a defense, my mother-in-law started crying. In the end, she also forced my eldest sister-in-law to apologize. I felt my breasts blocked when I heard it, and asked her, why do you keep enduring? 11 years, I have been suppressed and bullied by my husband, mother-in-law, and sister-in-law for such a long time. If it were me, I would have been in chaos long ago. My eldest sister-in-law smiled bitterly. Xie Deming is my teacher. When I was in school, I was very afraid of him. I suddenly realized. I am still afraid of my teacher when I was in school, but how could you marry him if you were afraid of him? She sighed. I was young at that time, I admired his knowledge, he often gave me private lectures, and he asked me if I was willing to marry him when I just graduated. I understand, she has a filter for teachers. When she admired the eldest brother. The eldest brother was a shining existence in her eyes, such a tall and powerful person proposed to her, she was probably so excited that her hands would tremble. I said, the reason why you can endure for so many years is because you love the eldest brother. She nodded. I just love him too much, so I can endure it again and again, but now, I feel that he is not worthy of my love for him. My love is also worthless to the Xie family. I said, you came to me, how do you want me to help you? She lowered her head and said, he definitely doesn't want to divorce me. If I sue, I have no money. She looked up, my salary card is in his hand, her parents' home is far away, and she has no one to turn to. If she is not desperate, she will not come to me. I nodded, I will lend it to you. Her eyes were immediately filled with tears. Thank you, Luo Xian, I will definitely return it to you. I thought about it and told her about my eldest brother. However, it may not be the right time for you to file for divorce now, because my eldest brother had a car accident. She stood up and asked anxiously, when? Is he serious? Last night. It was a bit serious and he had to amputate. Before I finished speaking, she ran out. I sighed, she still loves my eldest brother. My husband came back late at night, sat on the sofa very tiredly, and said, Xie Deqing had a miscarriage. I asked in surprise, what happened to her? My husband said that when my eldest sister-in-law arrived at the hospital, my mother-in-law scolded my eldest sister-in-law for being a troublemaker, saying that my eldest sister-in-law ran away from home, which led to my eldest brother's car accident, and told her to get out. The sister-in-law was so angry that she yelled, you drove my sister-in-law away, who will take care of my brother in the future? The mother-in-law said, I will take care of him. You need someone to take care of you, and you want to take care of my brother? I tell you, I can't take care of my brother. The mother-in-law said, if you don't want me to take care of him, I will drag him to crash the car, and we will die together. The sister-in-law was so angry that she cried, die, die, die. You can only threaten me and my brother with death. Now you can't threaten my brother, just threaten me alone. I don't care, you can die if you want to. She drove away from the hospital angrily, and she might be distracted because of her bad mood, and she also had a serious car accident. She was injured in the head, and the medicines for her injury would cause damage to the fetus, but if she waited until the child was born to treat it, it would delay the injury and she might become a vegetable. In the end, the mother-in-law made the decision to give up the child and save the adults. I felt a little sad when I heard it, and told the story of my sister-in-law coming to borrow money from me. I said, my sister-in-law is too weak, no wonder they want to control me like my sister-in-law, but unfortunately they made a wrong calculation. My husband said, you are different from my sister-in-law. She was controlled by my brother before she got married. No one can control you. I nodded. My brother used to be a college teacher, and my sister-in-law was his student. So my brother has a lot of prestige in front of my sister-in-law. Yes, in fact, there is no need for my mother to come forward in their affairs, and my brother also controls my sister-in-law. It's just that he doesn't want to say some unpleasant words to avoid hurting my sister-in-law's heart. I suddenly realized, so he let his mother and sister do the things that offend people, and he pretended to be a good person. That's right, but my sister-in-law is also a top student, can't she see it? My husband laughed. Of course she can see it, but what can she do? She can't argue with my brother, and my brother is the boss of her boss. A word from my brother can make her lose her job. So my sister-in-law can only be a coward in front of him. I sighed. My sister-in-law has come to her senses now and wants a divorce, but when she learned that my brother had a car accident, she went back to take care of him. My husband shook his head. Since my sister-in-law has the idea of divorce, it is only a matter of time before they divorce. Now she is taking care of my brother just to seek peace of mind. The next day, my husband and I went to buy New Year's goods. There are still 2 days until New Year's Eve, and it's time to buy New Year's goods. After buying New Year's goods, my mother-in-law tagged my husband in the family group. Second brother, your eldest brother and sister are in the hospital and need care. Your sister-in-law and brother-in-law took a day off today and have to go to work tomorrow. You and Luo you come to the hospital. You take care of your eldest brother, and Luo Xian takes care of your sister. My husband did not reply that I asked, "Are we going tomorrow?" He shook his head. No, he opened the group and clicked on the video call. Everyone came in, although my eldest brother and sister-in-law were lying in bed. They were in good spirits. My mother-in-law started crying first. I didn't have many children, I only gave birth to you 3, now the eldest and the youngest daughter are in the hospital. Second son, Mom can only rely on you. My husband said indifferently. There are some things that I originally wanted to keep in my heart for a lifetime, but you have disappointed me so much during this period. I want to make it clear at this time that my mother-in-law looked a little panicked. Second son, what do you want to say? Wait until your eldest brother and sister are discharged from the hospital. My husband replied. You don't have to listen if you don't want to, just let your son and daughter listen. My eldest brother's face turned black. Second son, how can you talk to Mom like this? She is your mother, not my mother. My sister-in-law looked confused. Second brother, what are you talking about? My mother-in-law shouted, I know what you want to say. You just don't want to recognize me as your mother. You are grown up now, your wings are hard, you want to fly away, right? My husband said coldly, you are not my mother in the first place, why should I recognize you? The sister-in-law was surprised. Second brother, are you crazy? I'm not crazy, let me show you the evidence. My husband took out a paternity test, which showed that he had no blood relationship with my mother-in-law. Everyone was stunned. The sister-in-law was the most excited. We 3 grew up together, how could you not be my mother's son? Did my mother pick you up? My husband replied, when I was 1 year old, my parents died of food poisoning. My uncle claimed to raise me, moved into my house, and took over all the property of my parents. My husband's story revealed the dusty past of 35 years. His parents were very capable and saved a lot of money, but they died young. He was just a 1-year-old child, so he naturally had no ability to keep his parents' property, when my uncle adopted him. His biological son Xie Deming was 3 years old. My aunt encouraged my uncle to buy a house in the city. So my uncle sold the house of Xie Dejuan's parents, took out all the savings left by his parents, and moved the whole family to the city. After buying a house, Xie's mother then gave birth to a daughter, Xie Deqing. People in the city thought that the 3 were siblings. When his uncle was alive, the couple treated Xie Dejuan well. When Xie Dejuan was 10 years old, his uncle passed away. Since then, his aunt often beat him for reasons and refused to give him food. After the high school entrance examination, Xie's mother did not allow him to go to high school, and asked him to go out to work and earn money to support his brother and sister to go to school. Xie Dejuan firmly disagreed. I want to go to school, I have been admitted to high school, why don't you let me go? Xie's mother was angry and embarrassed. There is no money at home, if you want to go to high school, you have to find a way yourself. Xie Dejuan called the police. Xie's mother was notified to the police station. She was afraid that Xie Dejuan would know that the money they were using now was all left by Xie Dejuan's parents. She did not dare to let the situation escalate and was forced to agree to continue to support Xie Dejuan to go to high school. When she came back, she gathered her 3 children together for a family meeting, telling them about the hardships of raising them, crying and shouting her husband's name, saying that she was ashamed today and didn't want to live anymore. Xie Deming and Xie Deqing both accused Xie Dejuan of calling the police and making their mother sad. Xie Dejuan softened his heart and thought it was really his fault. He could only apologize to her and promised not to call the police again. Later, family meetings became commonplace. During the winter and summer vacations, as long as he was at home, he was often called to sit in the middle of the living room to accept criticism from his mother and his brothers and sisters. Of course, he was not so obedient. And only Xie's mother's tears could soften him. After joining the work, Xie's mother treated him much better, always saying sorry to him, that she shouldn't have been too strict with him when he was a child, and hoped that he would forgive his mother. She started crying while talking. Xie Dejuan softened his heart and gave money to Xie's mother. A year ago, Xie Dejuan and I met on a blind date introduced by an acquaintance that he was 34 years old and I was 30 years old at that time. I was surprised to learn that it was his first blind date. Didn't your parents urge you to go on a blind date? He shook his head. My father passed away, and my mother never urged me to go on a blind date. Later, his sister got married, but his mother still didn't ask about his marriage. I couldn't help but jokingly ask, "Are you your mother's biological son? Why did your brother and sister get married, but your mother didn't care about your marriage?" He said, "Don't tell me." I really doubted my background. He talked about how Xie's mother treated him and the other two siblings differently when they were young. I said, "I feel that your mother is not your biological son." We decided to find out the truth, but he had to go to work and had no time, so I had to find out. I had no clue and didn't know where to start, but Xie's mother came to our house and pretended to take care of me. So I deliberately observed her every move. After a few months of getting to know her, I noticed that when she was video chatting, she often called someone a fellow villager. That person's accent was obviously different from that in the city. I have a college classmate who has the same accent. So I know where Xie's mother's hometown is. I planned to go to the countryside to investigate, but I was afraid that Xie's mother would get suspicious. So I found an excuse to drive her away and persuaded her to live with her eldest son and youngest daughter for a while. But she found all kinds of excuses not to go, and made a lot of noise, which made it difficult for me to work at ease. I got angry and told her not to watch short videos or chat with people in my house in the future. She is addicted to watching short videos. If she doesn't look at her phone for a while, she feels like she has lost her soul. So she had no choice but to leave, but before she left, she made dumplings to harm me, which led to a falling out between me and her. After driving Xie's mother away, I went to the countryside in the name of collecting folk songs, and soon learned that my real parents-in-law were not only capable, but also extremely kind-hearted people. They were the first group of people in the village to get rich. And they also led other fellow villagers to get rich. There were also photos of them on the old newspapers from more than 30 years ago preserved by the town government. I felt like I had found a treasure and hurriedly took a photo with my mobile phone. Later, when I chatted with local old farmers, they all sighed and said, "It's a pity that good people don't live long," and the couple died from eating poisonous mushrooms. Yes, it's strange to say, they are not unfamiliar with mushrooms. How could they pick poisonous mushrooms to eat? But his idle brother got the advantage. I felt moved and thought that there might be something strange about the death of my parents-in-law. I also learned from fellow villagers that Xie Dejuan's grandparents died early, and his uncle's marriage was decided by his parents. His parents didn't want his uncle to marry his aunt, because they thought his aunt was too lazy and had bad intentions, and had led his uncle astray. But his aunt got pregnant before marriage and threatened to sue him for rape if his uncle didn't marry her. His parents didn't want his uncle to go to jail, so they were forced to let this woman marry him. As a result, his parents died within a few years. After the investigation was almost done, I returned home. A few days later, my husband came back for vacation. I told him everything. When my husband saw the photos of his biological parents, his eyes were filled with tears. He said, "I must find out the truth about my parents' death." However, it has been 34 years. And it is not easy to find out the truth. The video chat initiated by my husband was to get Xie's mother to say something. I secretly turned on the screen recording function on my phone. My husband said, "Aunt, I have found out that my parents did not die in an accident." Xie's mother explained in a panic, "It was an accident. They ate poisonous mushrooms. My parents are locals, and they have been picking mushrooms in the mountains since they were young. Can't they recognize poisonous mushrooms? It was obviously poisoned by you. You think you can do it without anyone noticing, right? Someone saw it from the back mountain that day, but that person had a good relationship with my uncle and did not report you. He has been guilty for so many years, and now he finally said it out. His house in his hometown was sold to a fellow villager by his uncle, and it is still there. I observed that there is a small hill behind the house, and the windows of the dining room can be seen from the hill. Xie's mother believed it and said in panic, "It was not me, but your uncle who poisoned." "What? Poison?" It was poisonous mushrooms that my husband laughed. Go and turn yourself in. Xia's mother argued speciously. It was not me who poisoned, it was your uncle. Xia Deqing also shouted. Xia Dejuan, my father was wrong and he is dead. My mother raised you after all. You have called her mother for more than 30 years. It is good enough that she did not ask you to be filial. You still want my mother to go to jail? You should not be so conscienceless. The husband said angrily. Your parents poisoned my parents and occupied my family's property. Now they want to enslave my husband and wife to work like cows and horses for you brothers and sisters. Do you have the nerve to talk to me about conscience? Xia Deqing said. What do you mean by working like cows and horses? My mother has always taught us 3 brothers and sisters to love each other and help each other. The husband sneered. She wants me to help you more, and never asked you to help me, when you just came of age. She was worried about your marriage and asked people to introduce you to potential partners. Your brother is 3 years older than me, and his child is 11 years old. You are 8 years younger than me and you are also married. Has your mother ever worried about my marriage? She doesn't want me to get married at all. I got married at the age of 35. And your mother tried every possible way to drive my wife away and make me a bachelor for the rest of my life, because she saw that I had a high income now. She calculated that as long as I didn't get married and have children, my property would belong to your children in the future. You were jealous and thought she was partial to me. On the one hand, she was lazy and didn't want to work like a cow or a horse for you 2 brothers and sisters. On the other hand, she just wanted to use some despicable means to force my wife to leave. Your mother is your good mother, but to me, she is a devil. Xia Deqing also retorted. No matter how wrong she is still your aunt. My mother has raised you since you were 1 year old. I interrupted her. Xia Deqing, do you know why you and your brother had a car accident? Because your parents did something bad and took 2 lives. Your mother even dared to swear, and finally the retribution fell on you. Do you still have the nerve to blame Xia Dejuan? You can only blame your father. He married a bad woman, which caused you to suffer for 3 generations. You guys, there will be greater disasters. Just wait. We exited the video and went directly to the police station. I just recorded the chat process. Xia's mother said the poisoning herself. Even if it was her husband who poisoned, she was guilty of not reporting it. Xia's mother was arrested. After interrogation, she confessed that after they got married, both of them were lazy and gluttonous, which made the family very poor, but my brother and sister-in-law's family was prosperous. They built a 3-story house, and often went to the bank to deposit money. They were very envious and jealous, so they conspired to kill for money. One day, she saw her sister-in-law picking some mushrooms, and quickly asked the man to pick a lot of highly poisonous wild mushrooms back. She squeezed out the juice of the poisonous mushrooms and asked the man to secretly mix it into the mushrooms fried by her sister-in-law. My brother and sister-in-law ate poisonous mushrooms and drank white wine, and both fainted. The younger brother-in-law killed them again. Xia's mother fried some poisonous mushrooms and mixed them with the mushrooms fried by her sister-in-law. The next day, my brother-in-law cried and said that his brother and sister-in-law had eaten poisonous mushrooms and died. 34 years ago, there was no surveillance in the countryside, and everyone really thought that the couple had eaten poisonous mushrooms and died of poisoning, and no one reported the case. Although some people raised questions privately, no one investigated because, since they were not relatives, no one wanted to meddle in other people's business. The police asked a question. You poisoned your brother and sister-in-law, why didn't you hurt the child? It is not difficult to smother a 1-year-old child. Xia's mother answered. The child was at his grandmother's house at the time, and we didn't have the opportunity to do it. I said to my husband in fear, your life when you were a child was saved by your grandmother. He nodded. Yes, they didn't kill me at first, so they didn't dare to do it later. I understand. Once something happens to you, everyone will suspect that they are murdering for money. In this case, Xia Dejuan's uncle is the main culprit, and Xia's mother is an accomplice. She was sentenced to 15 years in prison. And I don't know if she can make it out of prison. My husband hired a lawyer to sue, demanding that Xia's mother return the property she had embezzled and demand civil compensation. Xia's mother's property was frozen. She had a house and 200,000 yuan in savings. In the end, all of them were compensated to my husband after taking care of Syed Deming, and he was discharged from the hospital. My sister-in-law filed for divorce. Syed Deming also knew that he could not keep his wife. So he had no choice but to sign the divorce agreement. My sister-in-law took her daughter away. Syed Ching saw that her eldest brother was the only one left, so she had to come and take care of him, but it caused dissatisfaction in her husband's family, and her husband divorced her. After her last car accident, the doctor said that she could not have children again after the child was removed. The news spread to her husband's family, and no man was willing to marry her from then on. They were just the two siblings who depended on each other. It's true that harming others not only harms yourself, but also harms your descendants. My husband and I went to the grave of his biological parents. My husband knelt down and cried out, "Dad, Mom," and then he couldn't speak. That I supported him and told my parents-in-law, "Dad, Mom, we have avenged you, and Dajuan and I will be happy. Please rest in peace." The wild flowers on the grave nodded in the wind, as if conveying the comfort of my parents-in-law. We also went to the grave of my grandmother. My husband said, "I still have some impression of my grandmother, because when I was 3 or 4 years old in the countryside, my grandmother often came to see me, and then we moved to the city and never saw her again. My uncle didn't dare to abuse me at that time, probably because he was afraid that my grandmother would come to find me. We learned that his grandmother died a year before his uncle died. This is the first time he has come to see his grandmother in so many years." His eyes were full of tears again. "I think that if my grandmother is still alive, she will also be happy that her grandson has grown up so much."